You already know why we're here, credit card business owners. We're here to help you make more money with your Facebook and Instagram ads in 2025. Guys, this is the most recent update for 2025, explaining exactly what is going on, what you need to do with ads to actually get this shit converted. So you make more money and then you eventually pay us. With that being said, guys, this might be a little bit of longer. I'm going to be going through social media presence, a couple of basic automations, and ultimately what you got to do in the ads. So with that being said, guys, this is a perfect video for you to maybe hop on a podcast, hop on your elliptical, listen to up, guys. 'Cause I'm gonna be dropping a lot of information. Make sure you take notes as well too. I'm excited, guys. Let's get your ads pumping so you can make more money and then you can get into our agency, guys. So with that being said, let's get this party started. Let's start it off with a couple of what I call social media foundational steps that you need to do in your social media and also in your ad account prior to running any ads. Because to be honest with you guys, you better believe that people judge a book by its cover. If somebody's gonna click on your ad, they're gonna check a look at your Instagram. Somebody clicks on your ad, they can take a look at your Facebook. They want to see you're legit. The number one thing that pops up in someone's mind when they click on an ad when they're about to buy your service is like, am I gonna get scammed from this guy? And if you're charging, the average LTV for a credit card client is probably around $1,000. Relatively, it's a high, low ticket, whatever you guys want to say, but still, it's a grand, guys. It's a grand. So be able to charge $1,000. Who would you rather buy from? To kind of start this off. Who would you rather buy from? Would you rather buy from somebody that has under 1,000 followers, barely posting, doesn't even have a story up, barely changed out his bio, not even meta verified? Or do you want to work with a professional? If you put your clients in your shoes, a professional has more than 10,000 followers, 50,000 followers, check blue check mark, consistently posting every single day, goes live, goes on their story, somebody that you can relate with, somebody that has enough followers, somebody that has enough social proof. Who would you rather work with? You know, First of all, prior to me kind of going into what I call this Instagram, Facebook optimization, for this purpose of the video to kind of keep it like straight to the point, we're really just going to focus on Instagram rather than Facebook. But we also have what I call a sales automation guide, guys. On the bottom of this link, comment the word sales automation guide, reach out to me, I'll shoot it out to you. It's also on my website actually. But pretty much, it's going to go over kind of what I'm talking about over here, in which case, how to really optimize your social media presence. This is what it looks like over here. Warning, because your competitors don't want to know about this. So rather than just going slide by slide on this, let's make sure you actually understand this SHIT, because we're here to make you more money, guys. Let's freaking go. And by the way, guys, for those of you guys that are on a jog right now listening in, guys, I'm a runner too. So I'm proud of you guys. Let's go. Let's go to Instagram over here. Let's look at a couple of Instagram profiles, guys. I'm not here to be a hole. This is strictly business. It's me putting my invisible coaching hat on. I'm gonna be talking about people that I pop up on Instagram, people that I've worked with, people that I haven't worked with. This is all just for education to make you better prior to you guys complaining about me calling someone out. That's not what this is for. We're all here, dead serious guys, talking about what you need to do to grow your business, ego aside. If I'm saying that right, if that makes sense to you guys. Long story short, guys, let's go over this guy over here. Actually, let's go over someone that I was actually just on a call with. I was just on a call with a guy over, Andrew over here. Excuse me, I'm pronouncing your name. Apologize. But let's start from top to bottom over here, guys. And let's really optimize this profile out. Let me show you a couple of examples like what mine looks like, a couple of my students looks like, people that are doing really good jobs over here. But with that being said, guys, you hop on this page over here because you click on an ad. You want your credit per fix so you can get funded or so you can get into your dream home. You hit this ad over you hit this ad and you're like, yo, is this guy legit? So you better believe you're gonna check out the social media. You better believe you're gonna check out the Instagram from the ad. You check out the Instagram over here and like, yo, do you want to work with this guy? This is a guy like what like if I'm looking at this first thing, like turn my side, boom, what does this guy do? I see over here, dude in a leather jacket, looks like a biker, under chapel, senior church, blah blah blah. Does this really scream predator services to you? I mean, yeah, he in his content, he's talking about credit repair and stuff. But like right at the back, just turning from boom. Like, I don't know what this guy does. I don't know if this guy's legit, and I don't know what to do next. Those three concepts right there is very, very vital to be able to grab people's attention. You and I both know that people's attention span is like nothing. We got TikTok nowadays. There's a Harvard study that says people have an average like 6 or 7 seconds of an attention span. But honestly, guys, it's even freaking less than that. Because TikTok people are swiping, swiping, swiping. You get like under 3 seconds to grab someone's attention. So if I'm just going boom from an ad, like I don't know what this dude does. I'm probably gonna click off, probably watch some Instagram booty, continue on my day, and not really worry about this guy and wait for the next ad to come up, somebody that's a little bit more professional. You know what I mean? So with that being said, guys, you got to make sure you optimize your page if you're running ads. You have to. It's just mandatory, guys. And there's a couple other mandatory things that we're gonna go about. But let's start off right on the top over here, guys. Andrew Chap over here, boom. He has a name and it's repeated. First of all, I call this digital real estate. Digital real estate as in space that takes up on someone's iPhone screen because 99% of the people here are probably going in from mobile, not necessarily desktop over here. Like, do you look at Instagram on your laptop? Probably not. Chances are you're like fucking taking a shit and you're scrolling through Instagram and you see an ad. You know what I mean? Or chances are you're at a stoplight and you're scrolling through an ad. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of people that are looking to Instagram are kind of just go to Instagram for a quick dopamine hit. So if you're not doing something to immediately just grab the attention, tell them what you do, show proof to overcome scam stuff, and tell them exactly what to do next to be able to get rock and roll with you, chances are they're gonna go back on them every day, finish up their shit, continue looking at booty, and do whatever they want to do. So you really got to grab people's attention. It's just vital, guys. I'm telling you. So with that being said, over here, digital real estate, guys. Digital real estate. And by the way, guys, I do talk fast. Yes, I know. I understand that. But there's a button on the YouTube screen over there that says you can slow me down. You can just always hop on a call with me. I'm more than happy to help you out because the more money I make you, the more I get paid. More than me and my agency gets paid. Awesome. But let's continue. What I'm trying to say, Andrew Chappell over here, you're repeating your name twice. You shouldn't be doing that. People don't need to hear your name twice. They need to know what you do immediately. So you can actually change this out. Like you can change out your name to be Andrew Credit and Funding Expert. That carries more weight than repeating your name twice. You know what I mean? And as we continue over here, the next thing we see is followers, 8 posts. Like I'm thinking on top of my mind, is this guy just his hobby, his side income? I'm about to pay $1,000, get into funding for $250,000. Do I really want to work with somebody that treats his business like it's like a hobby or a side quest or like it's not even his main thing? And if I'm looking for 250,000 freaking dollars, I want somebody that does this. I want somebody that actually freaking does this. Any doubt that this guy can get me the results? Because we're talking about relatively some freaking good money. We're talking about some people's crypto portfolios. Well, everything's fucking relative. But you know what I'm talking about here. So with that being said, guys, you got to be having more posts than freaking 8 posts. At the very minimum, yeah, you got to have enough to fill out the feed. We kind of want to know that, but you really want to be consistent. When I'm telling you, when you're running ads, you got to be showing at least 3 to 4 posts every single week, guys. And for those of you asking, yo, Blade, what do I talk about in these ads? You know, you're in the credit space, probably because you're passionate. I'm sure you can talk a lot about, but that's probably not the answer you want to hear. So we got something called what I call cinematic posting, guys. And we're gonna go over that into a second. But let me just make sure before I get into like some of that content distribution plan, let me make sure I kind of go into this posting, the followers, and things like that. So over here, 942 followers, it's like, yo, you are a legit business. Legit businesses have more than like 10,000 followers. I'm used to seeing celebrities with 1 million followers. 942, you don't even got 3 digits on there. That's what subconsciously is going on in people's mind. Meta verification, like, yo, where's that blue check? Is this person legit or is it like a fake Instagram account of someone's actual real business? That's like the first thing that people that think when they see an ad is like, yo, am I gonna get scammed from clicking on this ad? Think about it, like you're watching TV. You're watching TV and a commercial pops up. What do? You immediately tune out. You immediately go to the fridge and grab some snacks. You immediately go get your hand dirty in Cheetos. You know what I'm saying? When the commercial pops up, when an ad pops up subconsciously, you want to look away. So you got to do everything in your possible freaking willpower to just make it easy for people to get rocking and rolling with you. So with that being said, guys, you got to get more followers. So I'm trying to say, and there's a couple of amazing programs, amazing software, like one that we offer on our mentorship, excuse me, on our Discord community, on our mastermind that allows you to just purchase a whole bunch of followers really, really quickly. I recommend doing 500 to 1,000 at a time. Any more than that, it's a little bit tricky. Our product is still somewhat of a new product. You could tell because there's no real reset password on there. So if you have any issues using it, just let me know, guys. But with that being said, let me just show exactly kind of what something like that looks like and how to kind of use it really, really quick. And then we're going to continue. I'm just going to hover over this really quick. So if you go over here onto the mastermind on the Project Alpha, guys, shout out to Project Alpha. All right, check this out. There's a video over here. I probably should change out the thumbnail, kind of doesn't look good. Well, it shows you how to use it. Pretty simple, but it is kind of a simple software to use. Pop this all over here. Social media. Oh shit! Whoops. I copied like the entire thing. Copy link. Boom. Boom. All right. What I'm saying, guys, is that you can purchase a bunch of followers really, really affordably. Prices is on here is going to be changing. So as we kind of upgrade this and upgrade this. But long story short, just go to followers, targeted, find someone in America. We can tell if it's America by the American flag here. And just order 500 to 1,000 followers at a time intermittently, so it doesn't raise any red flags. And also it doesn't, if you sometimes if you do more than like 2,000, 3,000 followers on here, it kind of just like it goes through a long processing phase. It's just easier to do it intermittently, is what I'm trying to say. But yes, get up to at least 5,000 followers, get up to at least 10,000 followers. Next one to talk about is that blue check, guys. The blue check is super, super important. Every celebrity has it and they have it for a reason. It shows that they're freaking legit. It's like social proof. It's like, the new hip, it's I don't know. I'm not using a good metaphor here. What I'm saying is I get meta verified. It's worth a freaking $15, guys. It is worth a bit $15. Plus, you also get an additional chat support. So it just becomes a little bit easier to handle with Meta. Meta is sometimes can be a biatch, guys. Let's be real. So getting that extra little bit of chat support, being able to hop on a call from whatever you need, can be beneficial. Cool. So with that being said, guys, how are you gonna get the meta verification? I just recently lost mine. I don't know exactly what happened on this profile over here. So don't yell at me, guys. Don't be like, yo, you're not practicing what I'm preaching. Because on my Blade Never Fades one, I am meta verified. I just lost on the ad poppy out. Again, something happened over here. Whatever. Doesn't matter. But how to get it is make sure you go on a wait list. Go over here, professional account center, meta verified. Make sure on the wait list. Now, to be able to go through that wait list a little bit quicker, like what we do, is you go to Fiverr, leaving all the game here, guys. Everything. Brain dumping like crazy. Go to Fiverr and type in newsletter publication. Meta verification is pretty much just the AI scanning the internet to see if you're actually legit. So by posting something on a newsletter like entrepreneur.com, BCCLs, Hustler Weekly, those online publication is newsletter. My bad. Publication. Get. Oh, did I spell that right? I don't know. I'm a college dropout. Public relations, PR. Boom, boom, boom. California. That's all we want. Boom. Here we go. Press release. That's what it's called. National publication, published press release, whatever. Get publicized. Okay. Get publicized. The more that you have, the more likely you can get through that verification system quicker. So with that being said, get publicized. Make sure the traffic's pointing to your Instagram. So when the AI is scanning your shit, it sees that it's on like an entrepreneur.com. If it's an entrepreneur.com and it's even as small as like freaking Wikipedia, which you can do for free, it's going to show that the AI, it's going to show the AI that, hey, this is actually a legit business. We should expedite them through the waitlist process and verify them. Simple. That's how you can pretty much expedite that. But let's continue. Let me go back to the account they're working with. Awesome. So let's keep on going. So meta verify, we literally just talked about that. The next thing you have to do over here, guys, is your stories. Your stories are as important. You got to be making sure that when you're, especially when you're running ads, you gotta have at least 3 stories a day. You gotta have them. And the way that I do my stories, I treat it as a mini webinar. A lot of my conversions happen because of my stories. Don't blame me today. This profile doesn't have stories up. Oh, actually does. Never mind. I lied. This story does. I forgot I did this morning. I'm everywhere. Well, not everywhere. I'm just busy. You guys know how it is. With that being said, make sure you post up stories. And the way that I do stories is pretend this is the microphone. I got a new cool knife, by the way, guys. It's fucking sweet. I'm like, so my name's Blade. Gotta have a new knife. But with that being said, guys, do your stories. Keep it simple. You can be at the gym, you can be at your house, you can be wherever you want. But keep the process like this: problem, solution, call to action. Hey guys, have a recent got denied for funding because of bad credit. Problem, solution. Well, guys, check this out. I got a three-step easy solution to be able to get you funded and fix your credit. Well, fix your credit and get you funded. All I'm gonna do, I like to do three steps because people just resonate better with three steps. It's like a lucky number that people really resonate with, people like. Here's three-step solution, guys. Pull your credit report, just few negative items, add authorized user to boost that score, guys. Sweet. And guys, you want to get rocking and rolling with us? I'm excited to help you out. All you gotta do is just message me or click that little swiper icon, the emoji, or click that link over here. Because after you post a story, well, not after you post, but in that like draft, like you record it, you put it on draft, you can pop up those emojis that it's like a slider icon. Another one can be a poll, another can be a link. What I'm trying to say is I highly recommend using that because it's a lot easier for people to click on that link rather than swipe up, message you, or swipe up or go to your Instagram, go to your bio, or do this. It's just a lot easier if someone's already on the story. Just make it a lot freaking easier, guys. Reduce that friction so there's better chance of them getting involved with you. That being said, put up polls, put up the link on there, put up emojis that people can click on, whatever you can to just make it easy for people to get rocking and rolling with you. So that was a three-step solution. Problem, excuse me. This is the problem. This is your solution. This is the call to action. Upgrade to that, like this is like again, we're treating like a mini webinar. So the upgrades to that would be scarcity improve. Scarcity as in put my camera up again. Hey guys, in order to ensure quality among all my users, I can only take three more people this month. Again, in order to ensure quality among all my users, I can only take three more people this month. So make sure you get rocking and rolling with me. All right, I say rocking and rolling a lot. All right, guys, I'm corny. All right, whatever. That's scarcity. Another one's like proof. Like, hey guys, once you do the call to action, hey guys, but check this out. Over here, Ron just got approved for business funding over here. We got him a 100-point increase. Check out the screenshot over there, it's right over there. Got him a 100-point increase, and we help them get 100K of 0% interest business funding so that he can work on his real estate business, his fix and flip, restock shelves, increase inventory, payroll, marketing, whatever it might be. You know, and those type of case studies that you're talking about, those type of proof, my general concept behind it is to really think about who you want to attract here. The little like worksheet that you can do is take a piece of paper, think about your best client, somebody you really enjoyed working with, somebody that paid you the most amount of money, and write down all those freaking characteristics of that person because it'll allow you to be able to really attract those type of people. I'm gonna go more into this when we actually start talking about ads, but the AI will literally scan your shit and send it out to those who resonate with because it's a business. So with that being said, for that case study, that proof concept, make sure it's about somebody that you want to just attract more people to. So check it out. If I work with single moms, check it out. Stephanie over here's got approved for a dream home. I work with families. Check it out. Oh, Mark over here and his family just got approved for their dream house, went from a renter to a homeowner. We want to work with funding for construction, like one of my clients. Hey guys, check it out over here. Ron and his own construction business just got approved. And actually, here's a screenshot of the house that he's working on for his next fix and flip. You know what I'm trying to say? Just make sure you're tracking the type of people you want to work with. Ultimately, you're building the business of your freaking dreams. You know, I talk a lot, so every now and then I'm gonna need water. All right, let's keep on going though. Boom. Stories verified. Next thing over here, bio. We need to optimize the bio over here because senior pastor of Faith Church, and that's great. I love that. I absolutely love that he's a pastor. God bless. But that's not really going to make him money. And whenever I was talking about the concept with digital real estate, you want to make the most of your real estate because again, people only have a certain amount of focus they can really spend on you. It's like energy. They can only have exert so much energy until they kind of just give up and just F off. With that being said, you gotta give the best chance of converting with you. My bio is always simple. It's always been the same. You know, this is the problem that you're solving. Here's proof slash showing off, and here's the call to action. You don't really want to follow a three-step process. The three-step process would be more so for the actual story where we treat it as a mini webinar. I'm talking about the bio here. Let me give you an example of a good student of mine, and I'll show you mine as well. Let me show you mine first because I'm just cool like that. All right, I built six-figure a month sales systems, $2.2 million with a 4K budget. Qualified. Breathing the God what like that doesn't matter over here. Honestly, I should probably remove that. And this one should probably be like a call to action, is what I'm trying to say. But let me show you something else that someone else that does a really good job of it. Now that I'm looking at, I'm probably going to change it as well too. I want to make sure I'm always practicing when I'm preaching. With that being said, he's one of my students over here, awesome, and we're going to talk about him as well too. We're going to stay on here. I want to talk about cinematic posting as well too, just to make your content distribution a lot easier. With that being said, over here, look at very simple. I teach you to master your credit, the problem that you're solving, showing off. Educated 5,000 students on how to fix your credit. I keep on the wind blowing my cap. Get and call to action. Go here to start improving your credit. Very, very simple, guys. Very, very simple to get behind and understand what this person does. All right, so let's keep on going. Boom. And the last thing over here is that it's your link. Put your call funnel on here. Simple. All right, let's go back to Mikel Bennett because I want to talk about an easy way of posting. Because right now, his posts are a lot of just directly talking to the camera and providing value. And that's what majority of the people think that they need to do. But content doesn't always have to be that. It should show a variation. People ultimately want to see that if I go to my page, I have a bunch of variation. I got testimonials over here, me hanging out, me with my sister, me drinking a beer. Overall, it's all really about credit and funding, finance marketing, credit and funding. But it shows my lifestyle, and the reason why I love showing my lifestyle because it shows that I'm able to have a fulfilled and abundant life because my marketing agency is doing so well that's able to fuel my type of lifestyle. And almost like kind of it does two things. First, that future paces people into the life that they want to have by working with you. And second thing, it just shows more truth. It shows more value, it builds more trust. Because if this person is able to have vacations so many times and you do the things that he wants to do, he almost makes it as if that his credit results are like effortless. So I'd rather work with somebody that makes their credit results effortless than somebody that's struggling with it or treating more so like as a hobby. You know what I mean? So again, and also as well too, it gets them to relate with you. You're showing off your lifestyle, it's going to relate with other people that have similar interests. People buy from those that they like. So if somebody likes racing cool cars, then and you like racing cool cars, you're gonna naturally vibe, and that just makes a sale because people buy from those that they like. For example, simple scales. Let's keep on going. So we just talked about content again. Oh, so let's go back to cinematic posting now. I mean, I do some cinematic posting, not as much in the account. I do like his cinematic posting a lot because he's very, very consistent with it, and it's freaking cool. So, with that being said, guys, he's just doing his day-to-day life. It's just showing him in front of his Audi and just content on top of here. So you can build up and it puts like a little trending audio. What I'm saying is that this is a very, very easy way to just consistently post content, guys. You just do your thing. You hit the gym, you race your car, you're drifting, you're doing a burnout on your freaking car, you're racing dirt bikes. I don't know, I'm talking a lot of the hobbies that I like doing. You go to the gym. Maybe you are the type of guy that likes hitting the club. Maybe the type of guy that likes boxing. I don't know, but show off your lifestyle as well too, in addition to your business. Just make sure it's all correlated to your business because a lot of what marketing really is just reminding people that you exist still. So everything that you post, should make sure it's always related to what you do. So you're always on top of mind with people. But again, cinematic posting is very, very simple, guys. He's building out his house over here, just showing it really very, very simple. Very, very cinematic. I call it cinematic posting because you're just recording a video over here, recording something that you're doing, just putting words up in front of it. And it makes it very nice because you can make a very simple content distribution plan, in which case you use like go high level in the social media planner and go over to marketing. Give me a second. I'm going to go to my account here. I want to show you my social media planner just to show you how simple it is to build out a simple content distribution plan. Now, I'm going to show an example over here, one of my podcasts. Let me share my screen. Cool. Check this out. This is the podcast that we did over here. Very, very simple. I got the podcast. I sent it over to my editor. That guy edits it. He uses our AI marketing brain, does the copy for me. All I got to do is go in here and just approve it. Very, very simple. Cinematic posting. You go to cinematics. Boom, boom, boom. You take 30 different cinematics. You send it over to your editor. Editor edits it up. Goes onto here. Use the AI marketing brain, which I'll go over in a second. And you just approve the entire month. It makes it very easy. As well too, guys, we in our mastermind in our community, we really try to be the all-in-one ecosystem overall to grow your funding and credit for business. So if you are working with the agency and you like your editor, you want to use your editor, boom, no problem. We cover the cost of the edits. He does same day turnaround times, or they do same day turnaround times. If you like the editor, reach out to him. Like, hey, let's devise a plan over here so I can just make sure I'm consistently posting. So with that being said, guys, if you need an editor or something like that, we got your back. Next over here is the type of copy over here. But again, like what I was talking about is you got to make sure your copy really resonates with the type of people that you want to draw in. So, Blade, how do I get this over here? How do I really make copy that resonates with the type of people I want to attract? Simply stated, just use that AI marketing brain, guys. Check this out real quick. Now, what this really is an accumulation of over 8 years plus, $48 million generated for our clients, over 100 plus credit and funding business owners that we've scaled up. A lot of guys are past 6 figures a month. Got a bunch of clients as well too that do more than 7 figures a year. With that being said, we've got to have a couple of things that are converting. We got to be doing something right. So naturally, it only makes sense to take all those sales calls, transcribe them, and plug it into a marketing brain over here to just make copy generation a whole lot more simple. But we do something a little bit better than that. We're not no regular people. We're fucking, this is the Project Alpha we're talking about, baby. So what we do is, well, too, in addition to those sales scripts, like literally, if you go into one of these documents over here, some of them like 100 pages long. But what I'm saying is, in addition to the sales scripts, you also have common questions asked in Reddit, common questions that are asked in Keyword, and websites and funnels that are, excuse me, websites/funnels, and also ads already proven to convert, all plugged into here to really give you copy that's going to resonate with your audience. When you're posting videos, when you're posting ads, honestly, it's very simple. You really just got to make an ad that resonates with the type of people that you want to attract. And this is why I'm a geek for ads. This is why I'm a geek for social media. The reason being is because what you post is who you're going to attract. Right now, if you're in funding and credit pair, you're quite literally competing with people with unlimited budgets. Like I'm talking like Chase. I'm talking like, excuse me, Capital One, Amex, people that offer loans. These people have millions of dollars a day to spend on ads. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you might not have millions of dollars a day to spend on ads. If you do, just contact me, guys. Let's run it up. Regardless, what I'm trying to say is that you're competing against directly on those people. But people are spending millions of dollars a day. That budget is allocated to the masses. Why I'm a geek with ad is because you can make a very, very specific ad targeting the exact type of person that you want to work with and attract those type of people every single freaking time. So when it really comes down to increasing lead quality is you got to make a better freaking ad. And the two things that I really see that holds ads back are, and I'll go over this when we actually start really talking about the ads, but it's really financial capability and motivation. And I say this a couple of times, but if someone has like $1 million, but they're not motivated, they're not going to rock with you. Whereas on the contrary, if they're super motivated but don't have the budget, they're still not going to rock with you. So your ad, your social media content distribution needs to correlate those characteristics, needs to revolve around those characteristics of trying to attract financially capable people and motivated people. And again, the AI will really scan your shit and send it out to those who resonate with. Because again, Facebook is a business, regardless. I mean, Facebook, it's all social media profiles. As soon as ChatGPT came out a couple years back, ChatGPT sold the AI to like all the social media profiles for billions of dollars, trillions of dollars. In which case, they're all based on the same exact premise. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, blah, well, X, Pinterest, all based on the same exact concept. Because they're all businesses and they want to keep people using their platform. In order to keep people from using their platform, that means that they can't send shitty ads to people that they don't resonate with. As soon as people start getting bombarded with ads that they don't resonate with, they're gonna stop using the platform. So if you're making a shitty ad, it's gonna go to shitty people. You're gonna get shitty quality. If you want higher, better quality, you gotta make a better freaking ad that really resonates with the type of person you want to attract. And I'm talking about everything in that. I'm talking about freaking everything. Like I am freaking talking about like your tonality, how you dress, your background. Like this is just freaking vinyl outside my house over here because I end up being all inside all day. I gotta get outside, guys. All right, I gotta get outside. With that being said, guys, like the chain you wear, the watch that you're freaking wearing, the outfit, the shirt, the way that you talk, as an example, in terms of tonality, credit repair is a little bit of a younger crowd. So you can talk a little bit quicker, enthusiastically, whereas business funding is usually 40 years old plus. You guys are maybe a little bit older, a little bit more established. So for that tonality, you do have to talk a little bit slower. You have to talk a little bit more calm. You know, less enthusiastic. Credit repair, to talk a little bit more enthusiastic. That's tonality. The way that you dress. We're talking more so subtle wealth here. You don't want to attract, for lack of better words, hood people. So on your ad, you don't want to rock a crazy iced out chain. You don't want to rock a iced out blinged out watch. You don't want to watch crazy Gucci designer, Louis Vuitton, etc. The people that have bigger budgets, like for example, people are trying to get approved for the dream home, chances are like family people. And you don't really see a family person, a family man rocking designer. You don't see a family man rocking bust down watch because that's not what they find as most valuable in their lives. It's usually about their kids, you know? In which case, literally film an ad in front of a nice house, maybe a two-car garage, because people that have two-car garages are a little more financially capable. Maybe even showing your family involvement, you know? What I'm trying to say is that the environment, the way that you speak, the tonality, the background, how you dress, the copy they put in the ad, the AI will scan that shit and send out to those who resonate with. Let's keep on going though. I'm gonna digress from there. We're going back to content distribution over here, guys. All right, we're gonna go back to here. So yes, like I was saying, guys, you got to really keep in mind the type of people that you want to work with, the type of people that you want to attract when you're filming content, and especially when you're doing ads. We just talked about cinematic posting over here. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's talk about the ads here, guys. Yeah, guys. Well, before we talk about ads, yes, guys, we got Go High Level over here. It's already fully built out for you. Got all the nurture and email and text message, voicemail jobs, all the way from new leads, nurturing leads, all to up to active clients to pay clients. And we can also sync it up with Credit per Cloud, Client Dispute Manager, Deanna Rosen. Credit per Cloud is Mark Claiborne. No, Mark Claiborne is Client Dispute Manager. Credit per Cloud is Rosen, Mercer Rosen, whatever. If I screw it up, excuse me, guys. I talk to a lot of people. But shout out you guys who are watching this video. All right, let's keep on going and digress and keep on getting distracted. I'm not gonna do that anymore. It's rock. So what I'm trying to say, guys, is that when you work with us in terms of automations and go high level, long story short, I want you to be truly a business owner. I want you to be a business owner focused on bigger, higher tasks. And with that being said, guys, higher tasks, like sometimes go high level can be a little overwhelming for people. Sometimes it can be a little complex. Go high level is constantly releasing new updates, and sometimes those updates can interfere with workflows and like F them up. With that being said, when you work with us and we work with the agency or you're in the mastermind, guys, I want you to focus more so on just closing deals and content. Big portions of the business that's really going to grow it out exponentially. These tedious things like VA editing videos, like for example, building funnels, workflows, those small things that give you headaches are more so tedious tasks that you can solve out. Usually again, focus on a millionaire gets paid $500 an hour. So if you're trying to become a millionaire, you got to focus on the tasks that are going to get you to that goal, 500 an hour in tasks. Probably closing deals, building your brand, bigger, smarter tasks. So with that being said, again, I want you to focus more on content distribution, just closing, making money. That being said, when you're working with our mastermind or our agency, we're gonna completely manage your entire go high level sales system, guys. We're gonna manage that shit like nobody else. You're gonna be like, yo, Blade, I need a DM automation. I got a video out coming out here, and people comment the words right over here. I want it automatically to reply to there and shoot them out in my calendar link. Oh, it's gonna feel the freaking same day. Yo, Blade, my appointment reminders screwed up. I don't know. Something's wrong with it. Fix it. My team will go into that to go to a membership and make sure that's handled for you. You got your back, guys. You got your back, and there's nobody more dedicated to growing your business than me and my team, guys. The reason being, so the more money we make you, the more you get paid. I love it. I love that. All right, let's rock, guys. So that's really go high level on automations, guys. Long story short, you just become the creative aspect of things. The actual business owner, you do the things that a business owner needs to do, and you sub out everything to us. We can handle the entire fulfillment of your credit bureau funding business in terms of the go high level backend, any complexities, syncing up with Zapier into client dispute manager, APIs, whatever you got to do, we do that. It's for you. Once you join as well, too, we also first start you off with a custom call funnel, guys. Awesome. We started with the custom call funnel because it's nice and simple. Any one sales system, any one social media profile can take you to six figures a month. Matter of fact, I mean, I can't really talk about this. I haven't really made more than six figures a month just yet, but my mentors have. And their mentors, my mentor's mentor tells them to stick and laser focus still on one platform because those mentors are doing like fucking millions of dollars every single month and they're still using just one sales system. Honestly, guys, building a business is simple. It really is. It's just that when you start making some money, we kind of get distracted because everyone's trying to sell you shit. If you got a call funnel that's producing, why are you not switch over to a low ticket and go through a whole new low learning phase? If you got a call funnel over here, the most simplest funnel ever to get cash flowing, and your cash flowing, why are you gonna go over to webinar? Focus on getting the call funnel up to your goals, then go over into whatever. I wouldn't even freaking do that. If you got something that's freaking working, you're making 10, 50, 100 grand. Why don't you double that? Why don't you add more zeros to that, guys, before you move into something else? If there's anything you move into anything else, you got to go through those learning phases, guys, and that just takes time and money away from you. So focus on one thing. Keep laser target focus on your goals. So with that being said, guys, we start you off with a call funnel. Let me show you what this would look like. So for funding, looks like this. Funding looks like this, and I'll show you the credit pro in a second. Homepage video, boom, application. If they downsell as in have less than a 700 credit score, less than 10K credit card limit, or more than two derogatories on there, boom, push them into what we call funding prep, which is just a combination of credit repair and just legal build out. Boom, but video, schedule a call, thank you page, and thank you page video. If they are good, above 700 credit score, more than a 10K credit card limit, less than two negative accounts or authorities, schedule call the funding calendar, thank you page, and a thank you page video. Simple. What I'm trying to say is that we built that custom for you guys because this shit converts. Cool. Next thing over here, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's rock. Let's rock. Let's rock. Next thing over here. Boom. Credit per call funnel. Easy. Very, very simple. Home page, schedule page, thank you page. Home page, schedule page, thank you page. The additional to the pre-qualification survey. Very simple, guys. All we need over here is a homepage video and a thank you page video. But we have a very, very strategic way of doing our thank you pages and we enter ads and also things that we do in the actual workflows and nurture campaign, really to be able to ensure like a 70% show up rate. We do everything based on numbers. And I'm gonna get to that in a second when we're actually talking about the ads and how to really film them. But yes, what I'm trying to say is that once you rock and roll with us, you build out your funnels, your call funnel, the most simplest funnel to get you converting, to get you cash flowing. Typical turnaround time on those funnels, usually within 72 hours. We're pretty quick with this shit. The reason being is because time is freaking moolah. So we gotta be simple. Now, guys, let's talk about what I love most. The thing I geek about a lot. Media buying ads. First of all, I got this question a lot. Yo, Blade, why do you use Instagram and Facebook? Why not like Google? Why not like YouTube? Why not TikTok? Why not LinkedIn, etc.? Reason being is because credit brand funding, we've been focusing on just Instagram and Facebook for over 8 years. So I want to get you cash flowing first before we start testing new things out, before we start upgrading other things. I want to make sure that you're cash flowing. I want to make sure you're cash flowing as soon as possible. If you can pay me more. So I'm going to prove a point more so on Instagram and Facebook. With that being said, guys, yes, we can absolutely run on TikTok. Yes, we can run on YouTube. Well, credit repair, you can't really do on YouTube unless you're a nonprofit. Funding, you can run on YouTube/Google because it allows loans and something like credit repair, because it's more so of a high risk, is what I'm trying to say. Facebook and Instagram does allow credit repair. You just gotta make sure you're using special ad category of financial services. Pretty simple. Awesome. So with that being said, guys, we're numbers people. We're really analytical. We need to be. We can't grow a business based upon emotions. Honestly, like from all my clients, people that are doing 6 figures a month, people are doing 7 figures a year, there's one thing that really comes in common with all of them. And it's simple. They know their numbers, right? They know what they need to do to get to that goal. Very, very simple. Is that we do it. We have three different types of sales systems. One over here is a conversation starter, in which case it just starts at a conversation. Hey, Zai over here, please let us know how we can help you. They click on a button and shoots them out a quick automated response and it notifies you of that lead coming in. Next one over here is just asking for a little more questions over here. It's what I call automated chat, but without the budget. It really, hey, what's hurting your credit? What's your name, your phone number? Then goes into a scheduled call on the call funnel. Option numero tres, my favorite one. I love this one the best because these ones, you are not really able to track lead quality. I'll talk about that in a second. What I'm saying over here is that this one allows you to be able to see immediately what's hurting your credit, what is your budget, Name, email, phone number, then push them into schedule a call. What I like about getting the budget is at first, yes, it is a higher lead cost, but when you're doing up your follow up, just focus on the people with the higher budgets, and also allows you to really track lead quality as well too. But with that being said, as you can see over here, ROAS, they are all nine because ultimately the sales system doesn't really matter. 99.9999999% of your time should be spent on attracting high quality people. And that's on the top level, which is the actual ad, making sure they're attracting financially capable people and also motivated people as well too. And to do that, it's all about the AI scanning your ad and sending out to those who resonate with. The main differences on between these three ads over here really is it's really based upon look, cost per convo, $8, a little less responses, as in not asking the budget, $5. Conversation starter and just literally just starting out a conversation with the lead is $3. But with that being said, over here, look, the bad fit, no response will be 70%. As in people that are coming from this ad are gonna be bad fits is gonna be 70%. Or people that just started that conversation but don't respond back is 70%. As you go over here, the auto chats without the budget, look at it, 50% bad fit, no offer. Over here, the one we ask for the budget is 20% bad fit, no offer. See what I'm saying? So the more questions that are kind of asked over here, the more the quality kind of increases, but also as the as the quality increases, the cost for lead, the cost for schedule also increases as well too. Again, it really all irons out to the same thing at the end of the day. The only thing is that on here and this one over here, it just requires a little. Well, I don't want to say a little. It just requires more resources on the back end to really pre-qualify more leads, schedule them in, or sell them directly through chat. Or this one over here, they already are pre-qualifying through chat already, so you can really focus on the people with the higher budgets. So again, it just really depends on how your business is built out. If you have the infrastructure in the back end, as in like centers in the back end to chat with people as soon as they come in. If you don't, if you're like a solopreneur, I'd mostly just focus on this. You just really focus on the high quality leads. Cool. With that being said, guys, again, just focus 99.99% of your time on just attracting good people. This really doesn't make that much of a difference which one you use. The only thing is I like this one over here a lot because I can do something called tracking lead quality. It's my job as the media buyer to give you as many layups as possible to see the best chances of success. By the way, over here, we're mostly talking about credit. After this, I'm gonna talk about funding right after. It's a totally different sales system. But Blake, what do you mean by tracking lead quality? All right, let me break it down for you guys because there's two types of agencies. There's one is a retainer agency. Retainer is like, yo, I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to retain you as a client. The agency is telling the client, I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to retain you as a client. We're not that, guys, and this is why we're not for everybody, and that's okay. We're more so of a management. We're a sales system management service, as in you give us an ad. Well, first we give you the scripts that are proven to convert. We're not going to reinvent the wheel here. We want to get you cash flow as soon as possible, so you can pay us more money. But if you give us a script that I don't believe is going to make you money, I'm like, yo, this is shit. We're gonna have to re-record it. We're gonna do X, Y, and Z. It only makes sense because the more money you make, the more you pay me. So with our agency, we will tell you if an ad sucks. With our agency, we'll give you the ads already proven to convert. Like I said, guys, over $48 million generated for our clients. We do have a couple of ads. Naturally, we would have to have a couple of ads. They're already proven to convert. We're not going to reinvent the wheel here. We're going to make sure you fully understand how to make these ads. When you onboard with us, our process is super simple. First, you onboard with the sales. If you're working with the agency, first you onboard with the sales system, as in go high level and meta. Meta, you got to make sure you verify the email, add your business address, verify your domain. Just a couple of things that I often see people not doing. In terms of your actual sales system, in terms of go high level, there's like 4 verifications on the phone number alone. You got shaking, you got CNAM, shaking CNAM, um, uh, call recording, caller ID verification, and there's one that I'm having a brain fart right now. Excuse me, guys, not gonna be here. I'm saying that there's a lot of things that you might be missing on your go high level. So of course you want to make sure you have as best chances of closing deals as possible. Either you use our sub account, which just has faster turnaround time. You're really just making another sub account for you, give you access to it. You have to pay to go high level. You're just paying for the agency or the mastermind, whatever you're using. Only difference is in the agency, we're running the ads for you, managing equality. Mastermind, you get the sales system and also the membership. What I'm trying to say is that, when you work with us, we're going to give you all the ads ready, proven to convert. We're going to make life so much simpler. When you onboard with us, you onboard with the sales system and you onboard with me. Or during the onboarding call with the sales system, I literally tell people like, yo, bring a freaking beer, smoke a cigar, chillax. That call can take like 20 minutes. Sometimes you got to troubleshoot stuff or you forget your passwords. It could take longer than like an hour. So like keep it chill. My team is gonna go in on the onboarding call, go through our SOP, make sure you have all the workflows that you need. If it's on your Go High Level account, go through our checklist over here, make sure you have all the workflows that you need, and you have the best chance of closing deals. If it's under our account, it will be a lot quicker, faster turnaround times. You just gotta set up a couple of things like domain, DNS, phone number, email, A2P, etc. Business info like EIN, simple and all the nurture campaigns is already on there. So it's just quicker time to get you up and running. Our average time to be able to get a credit pair or funding client up is around 72 hours. Because again, time is freaking money. You want to make sure you're rocking and rolling within 72 hours. So you have the best chances of making more money. Is again, more money make you, the more we get paid, baby. That's how we roll. All right, excuse me, we get another drink real quick. All right. Talking lie here, guys. Excuse me. Awesome. Let's keep on going. So when you onboard with us, first sales system, go high level, and second would be Meta. Oh no, excuse me. Sorry, I'm talking a lot, guys. First thing would be the initial onboarding call with the sales system, would be go high level and Meta, and the second call would be with yours truly. And when you hop on with me, my name is Blade. We're actually talking about more so client acquisition strategy. Kind of a lot of what we went over here in terms of optimizing your social media presence and really how to run these actual ads. When I give you all the examples, obviously, guys, I can't really give you these examples now because if I start giving out our examples and really proving convert, it's going to create a lot of saturation in the market. I'm going to give you the premise of how our ads are set up. We're gonna make sure we handhold you when you're recording those ads. You give us graphics. We split test the both graphics and videos. I like graphics a lot because you can split test multiple different offers and get you within KPIs very, very quickly. Because you just change out the headlines, change out, it's literally it. You change out the headlines and you can change out different offers quick. Whereas if it's video, I gotta tell you, hey, change this. You gotta record it. You gotta send it. We gotta edit it and send it back to me then to post it. Whereas graphics is just quick. Then again, I do like videos. The reason being, videos just build trust because you're showing yourself. Like, if someone is confident enough to hop in front of a camera and talk to you on an ad, chances are the guy's got a legit business. So it just builds trust a lot quicker. What I'm trying to say. Now let's talk about the actual funding sales system over here. And then we're going to go over what we do in terms of the actual ads, how we launch our ads, and a couple of key characteristics that we need to make sure it's necessary to actually put into your ads when you're recording them. Let's go over here. Let's not keep this and not overcomplicate. Let's just focus on this one over here. Now, this is our funding call funnel. So with our funding call funnel, like if you saw over here, the cost to acquire a client was like $100. Funding is totally different. Funding is a whole new ballgame over here. The average cost to acquire a client in funding is around 500 to around $1,200 over here. But it makes perfect sense because the average funding deal, let's say you're getting 50 grand, what are you making 10% on the back end, 5 racks? You have 100 grand, 10% on the back end, 10 racks, 250K. I think you can kind of see where I'm going here with this. But to make things simple, we just did the minimum funding amount of like 50 grand. Just kind of keep everything minimalistic. And by the way, guys, all these numbers here, even for the credit pair plans over here, this is all front end shit. It's not even talking about nurturing, doing the back end or follow ups. It's all front ends directly off the ads. And of course, this is also counting like your actual just sales calls. It's not the actual chatting communication with the people. We can close deals to chat. With credit pair, you're dealing with consumers. Consumers have a lot more time to chat with people. Funding is completely different. We take them over to the call funnel scheduling directly. The reason being is because let me pop up. You see us over here? See my messages over here? Let me see if I make it bigger. 993. Look at my emails. 27,000 freaking emails. Guys, that's a lot. Well, it's relative, obviously. But I'm sure you have at the very least a couple messages that just went over your head that you didn't look at. Especially if you're a business owner, which I believe you guys are, is why we watch this video. But you probably have a couple messages they haven't looked into. Business owners are freaking busy. If it's not on the calendar, shit don't happen. Hyper is different. We're dealing with everyday consumers. Everyday consumers, they have more time to take a look at the DMs. They have more time to look through the Facebook Messenger. They have more time to look through the text messages. So what I'm trying to say is we take people on credit pair to the automated chats first and then schedule a call. The reason being is we try to get some low-hanging fruits first in terms of closing deals directly through the automated chats. You know what I mean? You can get money today is better than money tomorrow. So if you're able to chat with these people and close them on chat, boom, it's awesome. As soon as the lead comes in, I strongly encourage you reach out to those people, even if they schedule up a call them up. Pull them up, see if you can close them right there and then. They're active. Might as well. Again, money today is better than money tomorrow. So a lot of times as well too, you can close them through chat. You call them up directly. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, you want to close or want to actually you ready for the scheduled date maybe tomorrow, 24 hours later, whatever it might be. And then when I actually hop on a call with people, initially I hop on a call with them over here, see if I can get some low hanging fruits to a call. If I need to, I transition them into Zoom. And as well too, I make sure that I'm always following our sales script. Now, this sales script is insane, guys. I can't show it to you. I don't want to add too much saturation to the market. It's just legendary, guys. This shit is freaking legendary. We got a couple of sales actions over here that are absolutely take your sales to the freaking next level, guys. I'm not even kidding. What this is the 5 minute phone script. Pretty much, it figures out if this person's ready to buy. I know I'm getting distracted with credit period. I'll go into funding in a second here, but bear with me. What I'm saying is that this will get you understanding this person's ready to buy. They have enough of a budget to afford your services within the first 5 minutes without even having to pull the credit report. And the reason why we do it, we don't pull the credit report. We try to get money in before pulling the credit report. Is because you pull the credit report, you got to push them over into Zoom. You got to make sure that they log in. You got to walk them through. You got to teach them how to use Zoom and share the screen. It's a little bit older. You got to get them to pay $1 for IDIQ or smart credit, whatever you're using. You got to have them send over your login information. They're going to pipe in some sensitive info or your Zoom screen sharing. You got to show them how to print their credit report. You got to have them send the credit report over to you or screenshot the credit report. You got to analyze the credit report, give them a game plan, and then sell them. Fuck that. That can be like a 30-hour long period. I'd rather figure out this guy's ready to buy within the first 15 minutes. This way, I sell them in 15 minutes. Then I get their credit report. Once I have money in, there's a lot more invested. But if you sell them in 15 minutes compared to an hour, that means that rest of that 45 minutes, you can spend that hustling and getting more deals in, or content, or branding, whatever you're going to do. See what I'm saying? So by significantly decreasing the time it takes to sell a client, it will make you more money. But again, I can't show you this shit because this is for members only. All right, let's keep on going. That's credit for guys. And that's why we use auto chats to schedule a call rather than lead forms or just directly to the call funnel. We do take them to the call funnel. That's after they click on schedule now. They go through the automated chats over here, earning your credit, what's your budget, name, email, phone number, simple, and schedule a call. Very simple, guys. Gun funding now. Again, guys, with funding business owners, we're busy. We're just freaking busy. So you got to make sure you get on the calendar. With that being said, this is kind of the numbers behind it. In which case, the average cost per call over here for a 700 credit score, 10K credit card limit, no more than 2 derogatories, looking at around $50. Funding show up rate is around 70. I put it lower. It's usually like 75, 80%, but 70%. We just have extensive things that we do in the back end that we just copy and paste over to you, or we just use a sub account, boom, get you rocking and rolling. Awesome, guys. Assuming 10% closing rate over here. Again, bad fit no offer is going to be it. We're just working with the KPIs over here. 10% closing rate, boom, cash flowing, guys. And that's what you got to do to make 80 grand. If you want to tack on an additional 80 grand to your funding business, you got to be spending at least 25 grand in ads. That's what it is. And it's a little bit in terms of timeline over here. If you want to pause the video, but I'll run through here really quick. The first week over here, you're launching the ad, you're setting things up. Week 2 is you actually launch the ad and what I call the famous/hammer strategy. I'll go over that in a section after I explain this over here. Week 2, day 3 about is your first couple of sales calls going to come in. Really, guys, within launching the ads, it goes through what I call like a learning phase. And that learning phase usually is about like 24 hours. I'm going to say 3 hours over here because I don't want to promise any type of miracle. Some things might go wrong, but it's usually like a 20, it can be 12 hours. Sometimes it's 24-hour periods. Just whatever it takes to kind of go through that verification process and learning and send it out to those who resonate with. But with that being said, first sales calls in, launch, retargeting, and optimize, you do around week 3. Week 3 will bring down the cost around $60. Week 4 is when your first deals will come in. So your first couple of funding deals are really going to come in realistically, minimalistically, not promising any type of miracles over here. Really week 3, kind of towards the end of the first month over here. Month 2, week 1 and 2, you're going to get your second and third couple of deals over here. Month 2, week 3 and 4, third and fourth deal. Month 2, you should be doing at least 2 to 4 funding deals. Month 3 over here, deals start becoming a little more consistent. The reason being is because we're sending more pixel data over to the pixel. Something called CAPI for sure. That's for all you Facebook ad geeks out there. We call it CAPI. Really what that means is conversion API. You send out conversion API to the pixel. Well, it's not called a data set, but use Go High Level's workflow to then send out tracking data to the data set from when they become a lead, schedule a call, and purchase to further train the pixel about who you want to attract into your funnel, who you want to further attack. Really what it does is that, Facebook, for every single person on Facebook, it has like 50,000 freaking data points. It has like 50,000 data points. So you got to be specific when you're talking to these people, is what I'm trying to say. And by sending out these, by teaching the data set, by using conversion API, CAPI, you're teaching the pixel to attract type of people that you want to work with based upon certain characteristics. For example, like, yo, you all, these funding clients all join this funding Facebook group. It just naturally makes sense to target more of those type of people in that specific Facebook group. That's just one data point. I'm talking about 50,000. I can't even count to that high. That's gonna take forever. But Facebook and the AI does, well, they're pretty smart. And that's why I'm a geek for ads. All right, let's see where I'm going. Month two over here, 1 and 2, second deal. Month two, you're gonna be doing at least 4 to 5 deals per year. Simply stated. Month three is when the deals are gonna start becoming more consistent because we're really warming up that freaking motherfucking pixel. All right. Month three, week 2 to 4 is 1 deal a week. Month four is when we renegotiate our monthly management fee, guys, over here. We want to make sure we're growing with you. We want to make sure that the more money you make, the more you end up paying us. So we're just making sure, we usually charge around a 10%. Excuse me, we usually charge 10% of ad spend so that we can grow with you. The reason why we charge ad spend, not based upon revenue, is because, we did revenue before, but it just overall creates a headache and stress in terms of disagreements. I'd rather not have any disagreements or really just focus on scaling my agency and taking care of my people and do what I love. So with that being said, I don't want to have to just disagree with you if the person came from an ad, or this person came from a referral, or this person came from social media content distribution. Because overall, what we're doing here is we're building on upgrading your ecosystem. In which case, somebody might come from an ad, but convert off content, or somebody might convert coming from a referral, but end up converting from an ad, and likewise, and all that stuff in the ecosystem. Overall, what we're doing is just boosting your freaking ecosystem, guys. That's what we're doing over here. So, and then as well too, these expectations are really based upon, not a crazy amount of ad spend. The more ad spend, like, let me give you an example. I have a couple of funding guys that come into me start at $100 a day. Got a couple of funding guys that are doing 500 a day that start off $1,000 a day that start off $3,000 a day. I got clients that are spending more than $3,000 a day. With that being said, guys, the more budget that you really have allocated to the sales system really just pushes you through that sale, that what we call that learning phase, of where we just get you cash flowing consistently, just quicker is what I'm trying to say. Because it allows you to split test more, get the numbers in quicker, etc. You know, like if you were to coming in and you're like doing under 10K a month, obviously I wouldn't necessarily recommend going straight up with funding first. Because again, under 10K a month, the average cost to acquire a funding client is like 500 to 1,200 bucks. It's a lot of your capital you're using. You might want to first focus on credit first, make money there, and then push into funding. You know what I'm saying over here? Oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. All right, now the last couple of things I want to talk to you about is, let me pull up my creative brief over here. But the last couple of things I want to talk to you about, first, we're going to talk about hammer strategy, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more in terms of what you should really be putting into these ads. I'm going to give you a little couple pieces of alpha at the end of the video, just so you can have something like if you wanted to run ads like today, you can start making money. Like, well, it goes to the learning phase. So within the next couple of days, I'm trying to say 72 hours. And again, guys, if you really, follow this creative brief, you follow this to a T, you're going to be cash flowing pretty freaking darn quickly because you're attracting the right type of people. To be honest, it's going to surprise you. Go over here really quick. Okay, so first, I want to talk about the ad strategy. Let me just pull this up over here. Awesome, we got it over here. I'll go for the credit per one first. All right, so let's talk about the ad strategy here. So we use what I call a holy trifecta approach. I feel like I say holy trifecta a couple of times. I say holy trifecta in terms of credit, funding, cash flow, asset. And that's my favorite type of community, favorite type of holy trifecta to be able to make people more money. But in this holy trifecta, we're talking more so about the ad strategy. So you got cold ads. You got a cold ad campaign over here. I think the best way of actually doing this is by using a notepad. I don't necessarily want to show, I mean, I can show you my ad account. I don't want to show my client's ad account. But with that being said, let me pull up a whiteboard. Words sometimes words can be hard, guys. So excuse me. Okay, so we have a three-part ad campaign. First, we got the scale ad campaign. The next part we got over here is we got the retargeting, and last thing over here we got the famous. All these are ads. Whoops, let me do that. All these guys are boom, one campaign, boom, two campaigns, boom, three campaigns. And guys, we take a very, very simple approach to simple scales. Scale ad campaign. This is the one that you're scaling up and allocating at least 60% of your budget to. All right, excuse me for my amazing handwriting. Cool. What this is going to encompass is going to be, it's like cold ad, scale ads, whatever. It doesn't matter what it's called. Scale, and nothing called test. So what we do over here, guys, is we're always looking for winners. Winners is what we want, guys. So we have two in this scale campaign. We have two ad sets. And you're looking at the ad managers like campaign, ad set, and ads. In which case, over here is the scale ad and test campaign. We always want to make sure they're allocating at least 10% of the budget just to like testing over here, just by itself. 60% of the budget over here actually should be like more like this over here. Excuse me, 60%. Whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. 60% over here. Over here, guys, you're looking more sort of around 10%. Okay. So 60, maybe like 60, sometimes it can be like 70%, kind of depending on the hammer strategy over here. I'll explain that in a second, but bear with me for a second. So 60 to 70% over here, test is really testing on new concepts. Guys, you always gotta be testing on new concepts. You have to. You have to. And Facebook will reward you. Facebook, it's more so based upon the AI scanning your shit, sending out to those who resonate with. So it wants a lot of stuff to test. No, so you're always going to be filling up that test ad set with more creatives, more videos, more angles, different things like that. And then once you find a winner, you just take it, duplicate it with showing, keeping reactions on, and moving into the scale campaign. And scale campaigns where you're allocating a majority of the budget to. These are your winners. Scale is the winners. Testing is just testing on new concepts. You always want to be testing on new concepts as well too. You always want to be testing on new concepts because again, Facebook will reward you. You see it if you test. He's always testing on new concepts. Your cost of schedule will be considerably less. Your quality per lead can be considerably higher. You see what I'm saying? So again, you just want to make sure the Facebook algorithm has the best chances of closing deals for you, best chances of giving the best deals as possible. And that along also goes with remember I was talking about the onboarding call in terms of meta. Make sure you're doing everything right on there. Because if you're not doing everything right, it just send it out. It's just send out the better leads to somebody that's actually doing the right practices. So again, just make sure you go with our SOPs or go through with our guy. Make sure your email's verified, your domains verified with the DNS, business information is put into there, etc. You know, you can watch a YouTube video or check out ChatGPT for all that stuff if you want to figure it out. Next thing over here, guys, retargeting. This one's very, very simple. You're 10% of the budget. And what that really is really the scale ad with just a different copy. And again, we use our AI marketing brain to be able to handle all that shit for you, making your life easier. So you don't have to worry about copy. Last one, here's the famous strategy. Now, Jeremy Haynes did pioneer this. I can't take credit for this shit. And we did make it a little bit different. But really what this is, and Jeremy Haynes and his YouTube channel calls it the hammer strategy. I call it the famous strategies. I feel like that's exactly what this shit freaking does. Makes you more famous. And really what this is that from the moment they click on the ad, between the time they actually show up to your sales call, we take all your best content, testimonials, videos that provide value, videos that talk about what it's like to be a part of the process, commonly asked questions. All those videos, like some of my best clients have like 50 videos plus. My ad account has like 25 videos. But with that being said, all these videos were taken and rotating out to these people. They don't have big budgets. It's like each video is like $1. Well, depending on your budget, kind of. But each video is like $1 a day. Sometimes it could be $3 a day. For example, like my guy that's spending a rack a day. I think his like $5 a day. Long story short, if you have like 25 videos on it, you want to get the frequency to 25. It might sound a little confusing. You kind of have to do it. I don't know how to better way of explaining this, but you want to make sure that it's set up so people are not watching the same videos twice. And you want to make sure the frequency is high because you want to make sure that people are watching all of your freaking videos. And the entire concept of this famous strategy is for people to just see more of you and build more trust. And within that, like, let's say 40, 24, 40, 72-hour period, when they click on the ad to the time they actually show up to that sales call. So you just want to rotate as much content to those people so that when they actually happen to call with you, they're like, yo, I just saw so much of you. You got to be famous. I'm going to convert a lot easier with you. I'm going to bombard you with less questions and overall just make it easier close for you. I don't want to overwhelm you with the complexities of the famous strategy over here and really how to do it. You could check out Jeremy Haynes. You can watch a couple of my YouTube videos. You can ask ChatGPT, whatever you want to do. long story short, there are kind of two portions of this famous strategy, but it really does depend on your ad spend because you can set it up from when they first hit your site to the time when they actually schedule a call. And you can set up another one when they schedule a call to the time when they actually show up to that call and close. But if you have a lower ad spend, I'm talking like $500 a day and under, keep into one. Don't overcomplicate that shit. Talking $1,000 a day plus $3,000 a day, then it'll make a difference. You kind of want to separate that a little bit different. You can use a little more specific strategy. But again, that video is not for this. Again, this is 10% over here. 17, 8, 9, 10. Boom. I'm only saying 60% over here because sometimes this might be a little bit higher. So this could be like maybe 20 sometimes. It's kind of really, again, just depending on the ad spend over here. But the concept still stays the same over here. Simple. The last thing I really want to go over here is I'll give you some final alpha and leave it off on the finale, guys. All right. Is I really want to talk to you guys about, you stop sharing over here. Let's talk more so about a creative brief. I'm going to skip all this stuff over here. Get to the good part over here. Because this is a majority of what I don't want to waste time figuring where the presentation button is. What I'm trying to say is that I think present over here. Right, where is present? View slideshow. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. See, guys, I know what I'm doing. All right, keep going. So when we're running our ads, you want to focus on two different things. And this is our main angles that we're focusing on: dream home denials or funding denials. We target dream home denials if the LTV is higher there, if as in you have like a mortgage broker referral that can cash you up. You fix the credit, push them to a mortgage, the mortgage broker cashes you up, or a realtor cashes you up. And same thing with the other way. If you can fix the credit, push them into funding, you make money through the funding, then we'll go that route. It really just depends on where the higher LTV, lifetime value of the client really is, whether it be dream home denials or funding denials. Now, the main portions of this, and I feel like I repeat this, but I want to go a little more specific into this here, is that you want to attract financially capable people and also motivated people. Excuse me, really quick. So, Blade, what does that freaking mean over here? Well, let me break it down for you guys. I got you back. That's what I'm here for. So, remember what I was talking about, how the AI was scanning ad and sending that to those that resonate with? I'm sure you guys remember that, but I probably said that like 100 different times today in this video. So with that being said, you gotta use certain characteristics, Yeah, environment, tonality, but for this point right here, this section is talk about what you're actually saying in the copy. So when you're filming this ad over here, let's talk about financially capable people. When you film this ad over here, attention people that recently got denied for funding, excuse me, for attention people that recently got denied for the dream home. I like to start out with the pain points just got more attention. Guys, if you're trying to get into your dream home in a gated community next to a private school with an HOA and a gated community for safety of your kids, with the pool in the background, with a two-car garage, so you can fit your Mercedes and Audi, click the link down below, face your credit, and get your proof of your dream home. You see what I'm saying? Those key characteristics in there? Pool, Mercedes, Audi, two-car garage, HOA, gated community. Those are all key characteristics of our more wealthy type of people. Those are the type of people that you want to work with because they have bigger budgets. And the second thing over here is motivated people. I like this and that. As you can probably tell by now. What I'm trying to say is let's go back. All right, we're talking business here. We're talking money. Motivated people. How can you target motivated people? Attention people that are renting and that currently have a newborn coming on its way that need to get into a bigger house. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's got a small rental unit and they're trying to be able to get into a new house, they're a lot more motivated. Another example, attention people that recently got denied for the dream home. People that recently got denied are a little bit more motivated. If you're tired of spending your money and giving it to a landlord when you know that you should be building equity on a house, on their asset, I got you back. See what I'm saying? A little bit more motivated there. And the same concept is the same thing with funding. Financially capable, attention six-figure business owners. Attention people that need, excuse me, attention six-figure business owners. Attention business owners with 2 or more employees. See what I'm saying? 3 more employees, 4 more employees. You can say specific niches as well too. Attention real estate professionals absolutely killing it and super wealthy. You got the money to spend, but you lack in the credit. Simple concept. Motivated. I've recently gotten out for business funding. I feel like I said that one though with the with excuse me, Jim Home denial angle. So let's keep on going to another one. Do you not have enough money for payroll? Yo, that shit motivating to get capital. I'm telling you guys, it's motivating. All right. Do you guys need to restock shelves? Yo, that shit motivating, guys. That shit motivating. All right. All right. Are you a contractor? You got this government contract in, but because of your shitty credit, you can't get approved for a loan for a new equipment, and because of it, you can't do this government contract. Yo, that shit motivating. That shit motivating. All right. Simple, guys. Very, very simple. All right. Recent or not, I said that. Can you take a screenshot of this? Do it right now. I got you. Right. But what I'm trying to say is that you got to be making sure that the most important part about running an ad, again, you're spending 99% of the time on the actual ad, is that you really got to have in mind the type of person you want to attract and do everything in your power to be able to do so. Like literally, guys, I'm not even kidding. Draw, like, write down on a piece of paper who's your favorite client, who paid the most amount of money. Write down all the characteristics of that person. Do they have a family? What car they drive? How many garages they have? Where do they live? What's their profession? How much money they're making? Do they have gray hair? Are they old? Are they young? What do they like to talk about? What are the hobbies? And to keep the shit simple, plug into the ChatGPT and ask to give you some scripts based upon those financial, capable, and motivated characteristics. Pretty simple. You can literally brain dump a ChatGPT, or you can use an AI marketing brain, or you can just join our mastermind. We'll give you the AI marketing brain, or join an agency, and we'll just do it for you. But with that being said, guys, I know this was a long video. That's all I was saying, guys. Hop on a Peloton or a treadmill or something like that. I'm gonna be talking a lot here, guys. I hope, or going to drive. I love driving. But guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, guys. We went over a lot. I hope I didn't overwhelm you too much. I mean, if I did, guys, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I want to make you more money because when I do, I get paid more. So don't hesitate to reach out, guys. You can reach to me, theprojectalpha.com. My Instagram is instagram.com/blade never fades or instagram.com/the ad poppy. And I showed you on the Zoom. Of course, the links are down below, guys. Get rocking with me, guys. I want to make you more money. So when I do, I get paid more, guys. Let's build your business, the dream. Let's build the business of your dreams. Let's build the empire that you deserve, guys, because you do deserve to be wealthy. I think wealth is more just freedom for me. I love doing the shit that I want to do when I want to do it. So let's build that business that you truly want to do and you truly want to build. That gives you that freedom and lifestyle, guys. I'm excited to work with you guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great day for now. God bless and peace.